Hello, my name is James Humdun, born and raised here in San Francisco and BayVeiw. Have touched every part of San Francisco, and BayVeiw is my home. My family was from Oklahoma, Guthrie, Oklahoma, and Texas. They moved here very early. As I said, I was born and raised here. But my aunt is the one that ended up moving out here to Navy Road when I was a kid. And that's how I ended up spending a lot of time with my aunt. Although I was with Mom, but Aunt and I had a special bond and special relationship. So I hung out with my aunt a lot. So I remember when Hunters Point up there on Navy Road, it was all dirt roads. And yeah, it was a very interesting time as a kid growing up. The neighborhood used to smell quite bad because we had a slaughterhouse out here right down on Evans and 3rd Street. And it was a very interesting time, but it was also a wonderful time at the same time. Growing up here in the BayVeiw was a very fun time, especially coming up as a child, especially when I got into high school and started doing a lot of car racing here. It was very, very well known that we had a Friday night at TikTok's, which is right here on 3rd Street where the old McDonald's is right now. And we used to look forward to getting together, and cars from all over the place who would come and all souped up and everything. And we used to race here in the BayVeiw over by Candlestick Park and down on Evans Street. And that was a very fun time. I light up every time I think about that. I have been a martial arts instructor here in the BayVeiw Hunters Point for over 25 years. My main purpose to end up opening a school here, matter of fact, it was the second school ever opened here in the BayVeiw over on 3rd Street, to be able to give the children an alternative to violence. We had a lot of shootings and a lot of drive-bys, and I ended up finding out that a lot of times that those things were happening because they were lacking images of uncles, fathers, so forth and so on, and they needed an alternative to violence. But I also felt that it was also part of confidence that was either lacking that they needed, or they needed someone to look up to that could tell them, you know what, you still can make it no matter what is going on here in the BayVeiw. So I ended up teaching up at Whitney Young Child Development Center, which is now San Francisco, come back to me, I'm sorry. Faces SF. Which is the old Whitney Young Child Development Center. And I've been there for, wow, over 25 years, spending time teaching the kids, starting with the preschool, some of the preschool children and middle school, the age that they can no longer go there. It's about 11, 12 years old. So I've been there. I teach several classes there a week, and it's fun. But at the same time, it also, being a black male and being an example for the little black males to be able to have someone to talk to, because you start finding out after a while that there's no one there. There's no one there for them for whatever reason. If it's been through deaths, if it's been through jail, that they're just lacking that intimacy that having a male role model or somebody there to be able to talk to, or cry on their shoulder, or just to be patient with them and hear what they have to say. I have found out that a lot of times the children end up being very frustrated because nowadays, you know, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit because I end up seeing a lot of the problems with the children. For instance, some of them are in middle school and still don't know their left from their right. And I remember there was a time that as you grew up, that was always number one. Your right hand, your left hand, what forward was, what backwards was, side to side. And some of the children now, they get very, very frustrated and kind of shut down because they're embarrassed because they don't know their left from their right. So I find through teaching martial arts and through my brother also, Brother Malik, as he's teaching art and teaching the children also how to paint. And he may say, hey, you're going to paint this right arm, and then you're going to paint this left arm. And then I'll say, you're going to use your right hand for this movement. You're going to use your left hand and repeat after me. Left, right, left, right. And if they continue and follow that process before it's all over with, they will understand where their left and their right is. So that is just some of the experiences that have seen with the children from the BayVeiw. And my focus is here to be with them, to let them know, hey, somebody here does care. And that's the most important thing. One of them is I will read, write, and get an education and let no one keep me from my destination. That is one. I will strive to be my best each and every day and overcome any obstacles that get in my way. So those are just a few. I am disciplined, obedient, respectful, and kind. I would develop my body as well as my mind. And so we recite these after every class, every class. I don't think so. Not in the capacity that it could be. It could be improved. I ran a school down on 3rd Street, and I was there for close to 9 years. And if I got 10 youth out of the BayVeiw, there's 100 youth standing in here right now, which was really unfortunate. Although when I was up at Whitney Young Child Development Center and FACES, you know, it's a free program. And you know, you get the people that are on waiting lists, and they come in and they're able to take the classes for free. But I remember there was a time that, God bless his soul, that the mayor, Mayor Lee, it came down and we did a whole kind of introduction and a photo shoot, and we were talking about the needs of the BayVeiw and my class. And he had mentioned some funding and so forth and so on, but it never came to pass. I'm sure there were a lot of other things on his plate as well. That vision would be put more money into the BayVeiw, like you have put in the downtown areas of San Francisco and some of the other areas that when you, like Fillmore, for instance. Fillmore is no longer the Fillmore that I knew and grew up with. They've spent a lot of money in the Fillmore, and you really don't know it anymore. And I think if they spend some of that money out here and show the people that they do care, that they do see the need, and do some investing out here, I think it would make a big difference. We have excellent weather out here, and they put the T train out here. It's really interesting how that also works. If you live anywhere between downtown and I think it's Dog Patch, you have very good service. And once you cross Dog Patch and you start coming to the BayVeiw, everything seems to slow down. So, you know, I think it should be fair right across the board. I mean, we should have the same type of service coming out here and the same type of money that's spent. And it would make a big difference, and it would let the people know and make them feel that we are cared about out here.
Okay, I'd like to ask you a question with regard to your development of a community consciousness where you are giving back to the community in terms of your work with the youth. How is it that you developed that consciousness? Was there somebody, a mentor, a teacher, who inspired you to do this type of work?
My mother, God bless her soul, she's no longer with us now. But my mother always was doing something with the youth. She was definitely a church advocate. She was in church all the time. I grew up in the church as well. And she was always doing something for the young people. She used to always say, we can't do anything for ourselves if we don't pay attention to our youth, because our youth is the next level. It's the next level. The youth are going to be the ones that take our place. And if we don't spend that time with the discipline and the common courtesies and teach them and show them, then, you know, we're looking for a downhill spill. So it was my mom, and just remembering some of the things that I saw her do. You know, she was very, very well loved. And it's funny, I never expected to be I'd say, senior so quickly. My mom passed in 2012. And it's just amazing how when you start looking at your loved ones and they start to pass, and you start looking at yourself and go like, wow, I'm senior now, you know? But at the same time, you end up remembering in depth a lot of the things that you grew up with and remembering from your parents, your mom, your dad, so forth. So I would say, if anything, that was my motivator and still is my motivator.
Do you have a song in your memory from church that you want to share?
Oh my goodness. Not offhand, although my mom had a favorite song. She used to sing, can't remember it at the moment. It's in my phone, though.
That's okay. You gave me a little prompt and something. Throw it back.
Okay.
Okay, so James, just
Yes.
to wrap it up, is
Yes.
there anything that you would want to say, just to conclude, about your feelings about Hunter's Point or whatever?
Yes. Don't give up on the BayVeiw. Invest in the BayVeiw. You'll be surprised. This is like a gold mine here. Don't run the people out of the BayVeiw. Support them. Show them that you care. You'd be surprised what you may get in return.